Fit to Love, episode 117, Empowerment Through Fitness.
Fit to Love is physical, emotional, and spiritual fitness to achieve the happy life you deserve. From exercise to cooking, relationships, and spirituality, you'll find all the inspiration you need right here with our host, JJ Flazane.
Hello and welcome to Fit to Love Wellness Wednesdays. Today's show, Empowerment Through Fitness. I'm very happy to have a very special guest today. We have Amy K. Weber. She is a studio owner and the creator of Tap and Power and Energy and Power. She's a master teacher, a teacher trainer, and a Lululemon ambassador. Amy has been a dancer since the age of 3 and is owner of Releve One Fitness and Dance Studios in Franklin, Tennessee, and the creator of Tap and Power, a mind-body balance fusion class that leads with excellence in form and speak words of empowerment to women. Classically trained, Amy is also a teacher for Bar Amped in Franklin, Tennessee, the birthplace of the method. Other than its creator, Amy was the first person to lead Bar Amped classes. Amy has taught over 3,000 hours of classes and trained and certified over 150 Bar Amped instructors worldwide. In addition, Amy holds certifications by the National Exercise Trainers Association in group fitness, Pilates, and yoga. She's previously held a position in Burbank, California with ABC as the Director of Affiliate Relations and holds a bachelor's degree in Arts and Communications from Bowling Green State University. Amy is a proud wife as well as a mommy to her 2 sweet, silly, and joyful sons, Camden John and Dashton Blue. Welcome to the show, Amy.
Thank you, JJ. I'm happy to be here.
I'm excited to talk about this. This is obviously fitness is something I'm very passionate about and have been for a long time. And empowerment is obviously another one of those hot button words for me since I am an empowerment strategist. So let's first talk about your relationship to exercise, your relationship to fitness, because you haven't always been doing this, right?
No, I haven't. I've always been a fitness fanatic, but I think it came back around for me full circle once I was working a stressful job at ABC, like you said earlier, in the early 2000s, and I needed something to de-stress. And so I found myself in Billy Blank's World Training Center in I think the year was about 2004, and just fell back in love with movement. And I was a dancer, as you mentioned, from the age of 3 until now, and just got back into the whole movement aspect, the cardio. And then I got pregnant in 2007, and I wasn't able to do high impact cardio during my pregnancy. I was limited to that. So then I went on to find bar. My first bar experience was cardio bar in Los Angeles with their creator, Richard. Fast forward to having my son 6 months later, moving from Los Angeles to Franklin, Tennessee. I discovered there was actually no bar being taught here with the exception of one class that I could find. And I strolled into Suzanne Bowen's bar class at a local gym, and it went on to later be created as the Bar Amped method, to which you mentioned. I went on to have a great long career with them. So being a bar instructor had completely reignited my passion for fitness and form, actually. It took that essence and that love of doing what I do. It allowed me to tap into that dancer mentality, but practice through form and safety. And that's something I'm extremely passionate about now and have been since I was trained in the Bar Amped method.
The Bar Amped method in all the bar classes, would you say the major dance influence is ballet?
Yes, definitely. And modern dance.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about the difference between your experience. Now, obviously, the excitement of being able to integrate your dance background with fitness was fun. But what about the feeling? What about the concentration? What was different that really got you really passionate and focused into just now bar?
You mean my training?
Your training, and then you're wanting to become an instructor and then to teach others and to lead classes and now to be a studio owner.
I gotcha. Well, just from my first bar class, the bar class that I started with in Los Angeles was very different than the bar class that I was introduced here. The creator of the Bar Amped method, Suzanne Bowen, she actually took typical bar fitness and actually took it from a neutral spine perspective. So instead of heavy tucking of the pelvis and tilting of the pelvis, we work Pilates style, which is the lift of the pelvic floor, and keeping the pelvis in the way that it's meant to be carried. that is one thing that I loved so much because I could practice in safety. And then mentally, it just taking that first class was something that I'd never experienced before. I was actually really able to call upon my mind and my body. And I just have been furthering that connection ever since I started almost 7 years ago with it. And that for me, it could be, I could be having the crummiest day. And all of a sudden, I step into my bar class, whether I'm teaching it or taking it. And it's like, boom, I'm here, I'm in my body, I have 1 hour. And that feeling that for myself just ignited a passion in me that I wanted to give that gift to others.
Beautiful. Let's move from you got energized and inspired
Mhm.
and became really passionate about the kinds of classes you were taking and then teaching at Bar Amped. And then let's lead you into your own studio and tell us about
Yeah.
that.
Oh my gosh. That was when I moved here, I dreamed of owning a studio. I mean, I knew that when I was working in the corporate world, although it was a great experience and I loved every second of being able to work that kind of high power corporate job, I just felt like there was something missing in my life. And then having my kid, my first son, I still felt like there was more. There was more than just doing the mommy thing, which I, of course, fell in love with. So I started dreaming about owning a fitness studio. And once I started teaching with the creator of Bar Amp, she went on to open her own studio. The method in and of itself started to take off, which led her to have to be gone from the studio often. And then I rolled into that of a teacher trainer because, again, the method was exploding. And from that point, I would say it was about 3 years into that process, the creator and her husband offered me the opportunity to buy the flagship studio here in Franklin, Tennessee. And oh my gosh, it was just like, yes, I want this so bad. And so we had the honor, my husband and I, of taking ownership of the original Bar Amp studio here in Franklin. We did rename it because I knew that I wanted to carry other brands and feature other types of fitness aside from bar. I didn't know at the time I was going to go on to create my own method. That was something that came out of nowhere for me and just shows you the power of, dreaming big. And yeah, we bought the studio 2.5 years ago, and we've just ignited this beautiful community within the four walls of our studio. In the next month, we're actually moving locations. We're going from a 1,800 square foot studio to a 3,600 square foot studio, which is scary but amazing. And yeah, it's been a dream come true. Every day I walk in there and I'm like, oh, this is the best job ever.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So let's talk about Tap and Power. That's your brand, yes?
Yes, it is.
And how is Tap and Power, not necessarily how is it different than Bar Amped? We don't need to
Mhm.
compare it to other bar classes, but just in terms of fitness in general. If you're going to tell me that you think I need to take this kind of class, or if I'm looking for something, how would you say that you are different, and why would you want someone to experience that versus, let's say, some other kind of group fitness class?
Absolutely. It is, well, it's not on the bar. There's no bar. It's a balance fusion class that combines all forms of movement, linear, rotational, isometric, and range of motion. We implement some dance fusion moves, but it's not a rhythmic class. It's a mixed level class. And I think the best part of it is that we speak words of empowerment throughout the entire hour to our clients, to our what we call fearless warriors. My teachers, we began the class in October of last year in my studio at Releve 1, and since that time we've grown to having 15 licensees, soon to be 21 in the United States, and we have over 40 Tap and Power instructors now. I'm really proud of that because I haven't done any mass marketing. It's been completely grassroots and word of mouth, and it's just a complete joy to watch what it's doing in communities such as Releve 1. If you wanted to know how it differs, we call it meaningful movement. So it's taking that type of movement that I just described and putting meaning behind it, not just lift your leg and contract your glutes and lengthen your spine. It's why you're doing it. And we're educating the clients on how to self correct through the process, as well as, you're beautiful, you're strong, you're amazing, you're empowered. Yes, you can. All kinds of great phrases that are offered throughout the hour. We end with a positive quote at the end of every class, and we begin with a guided intention as well.
Now, do you and your instructors, are you in charge of the positive affirmations, or do you ask that the participants also repeat out loud?
It depends, actually. Sometimes we will, if we're like into because it is, as I mentioned, a fusion method, there are yoga elements to this as well. In the cardio sets, which we call our energy sets, sometimes I'll have them use the power of I am statements. I am strong. Repeat after me. I am strong. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. And, just hearing them say it out loud, it can really take the room from a fitness class to a full blown experience. I get chills every time I teach the class.
Well, we have thoughts running through our heads regardless of whether our mouths are moving or not. So to
Mhm.
actually ask everyone to engage and be present in that moment while they're in touch with their body and to speak words like that and to sort of reprogram during that time, I can only imagine it's a very powerful cellular experience to reprogram their body while they're in motion because they're in touch with their body. And that's the
Mhm.
most, I mean, you're fully connected. Most of us are walking around disconnected from our bodies and only in our heads, not even in our hearts. And in this situation, you're fully connected in your body. And now you're infusing and reprogramming it with positive affirmations, which I think is great because obviously that probably sinks in faster. Tell us a little bit about some of the experiences that you've heard about people that have been doing this method. So some of your clients or some of the other instructors. I know obviously from you how passionate and excited and fully integrated you feel in life because of it. But what about some other stories? Do you have any other stories?
Oh, yeah. I have one of my favorite stories is I have a client who had suffered a severe inner ear damage and very, very little balance, very little proprioception from her accident that she had been through, and came into the studio very limited in just range of motion even on the bar. So when we pulled her away from the bar, it was definitely a scary experience. I don't have anything to hold on to. What am I going to do here? And it has been a complete transformation just to, give her those level 1 through 3 options throughout the tap and power class and say, because that's what we do. We say, okay, start here. Here's your level 1 posture. Here's your level 2 option. And then take it up to level 3. And I'm seeing her in a year's time pop it up to level 2 and level 3 in beautiful form. And what I did a lot of is research in how balance is so essential for us as we age, for our joints, for, like I said earlier, neuromuscular and proprioception, and just general awareness of your body. So that is one of my favorite stories is, a lot of the time, typically people are like, oh, I have no balance. I can't balance. I can't balance. I'm like, yes, you can, come on. And we get them set up and really just showing them where to look. You spot a position, you use your entire abdominal wall, and that's going to help you. If you feel like you're going to fall, get back up. It's life. Correlate it to something in your life. We do a lot of that in class. So you feel like you're going to fall. Okay, you stumble. That's something that happens every day in our lives. Do you let that overcome you? No, you get back up and you persevere. Generally, it's just more about people feeling like I need to hold on to something and then you show them that they don't. And it's a really cool thing to watch a group of all ages, all shapes, all sizes moving in harmony with beautiful outreaching arms and open hearts and lengthened spines. It's quite lovely to witness on a daily basis.
And you guys are using music, correct?
Absolutely. I'm very I'm very big on teaching to a solid playlist. This type of class you would need to have musicality to teach it, though we do encourage our clients to move at their pace, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm just thinking about obviously we've got a lot of different components that are creating a magical experience. So you're having the body, you're in touch with your body because you have to be if you're in a kind of class like this, right? So there's that mind-body connection. And then you've
Yeah.
got the positive affirmation, which is the mental piece, sort of embedding a little bit deeper into the subconscious mind. And then you've got the music, which again is if it's positive in nature or fast, it's going to be, a higher vibration and frequency. So there's just a total package of an experience here. Because I know that one of the things that you've said is about loving your body and the mind body connection and different than the boot camp style of and I'm very much a non boot camp person.
Yeah.
I'm the person that please don't yell at me and please don't belittle me
I
and
know, right?
I do the opposite. I'm the rebeller. So the boot camp style, and I really am not a fan of that at all. Tell everyone a little bit more about your experience, but just, and I know, and that's a great story about the woman with the proprioception and the balance. And what
Mm.
about the deeper emotional transformations? Anyone that has come into your work and this kind of exercise, and we are going to give you guys who are listening some ideas of things that you can do, whether there's a class around you or not, how you can, tips and tools that you can do to transform and add some of these different elements into your own workouts, into your own classes, even if you're not having the kind of instructor that Amy is or the group fitness classes that she offers around you. But what about any emotional transformations?
Oh, yeah, including myself, actually. This class was developed from the primitive stages. I was going through a really, really challenging time in my life emotionally a couple of years ago. And that's why I said earlier, I had no idea this was even inside of me. And my best friend and I were just playing around with movement one day. And really, she was like, we should start creating something. And we started playing, and I just took it from there, and she's been a huge supporter of mine and a big influence in this method, and is now a teacher trainer for it as well. Her name is Jen Ashcraft. But as we started playing with the movement, and I got the format down, and we started teaching it in the studio, you just started to see this peace wash over people at the end of the hour. Jen would always say, I feel warm after I take this. I feel like it was a really challenging class, but my soul feels warm. And I've actually, without being prompted, have heard other people say very similar things. I just feel warm inside. I feel lighter. I feel happy. I feel like I can do anything. And I've seen women cry, just full on, just cry at the end of the class, and in a good way, in a cleansing way. So, not only has it been an experience for me emotionally to start it, to watch it bloom and blossom and grow into this brand. It's really, like I said, day to day, to just watch an individual come into the studio and practice. It reminds me every day why it was created. It's not about me. It came out of me, but it has nothing to do with me. It's a gift I get to deliver to women anywhere that I can get it, anywhere that I can put it where it's purposeful. I want to share this with the world. I don't have any desire to be a fitness celebrity. I just want to share this method and help women believe in themselves again. And, a lot of the times I'll hear women say, gosh, no one tells me I'm beautiful. This is the only time of day I get to hear it. And I mean, as sad as it is, it's such an honor that people are finding it at our studio and within Tap and Power.
And first of all, you are sharing it with the world. We're being downloaded in 96
Oh
countries
my
as of
gosh,
today,
that's
and so you
amazing.
you you are sharing it with the world.
Oh,
Number
wow.
one, and not only that, it really is in line with the Fit to Love brand. I don't know if
It
you
totally
know a lot
is.
about, right. So
Yeah.
my book and my brand is really about that empowerment and coming from a place of love and doing these things because you want to support yourself, because you love yourself. And too often in the fitness industry, we're doing the opposite. People are wanting to get thinner or look better because they don't love themselves, and they're doing
Yeah.
it because they want someone else to love themselves, or they use exercise as abuse of themselves, or they do it and they think of it in a negative way. And so really, and that's just such a important message for me to get out, right, as well, because too many times when you walk into a gym situation, I can feel the insecurity. I can feel the
Mhm.
comparison, the comparing myself to somebody else. Oh, I don't look as good as they do, or look at this or look at that, and looking at each little body part and each little pocket, and saying, oh, I don't like that about myself. And so the messaging in most fitness, which is why I'm not like the uber crazy all about fitness person.
Mhm.
Fitness is huge for me. It's where I started, but it isn't the whole message. And
Right.
it's a tool, and it can be used to embed positive or to embed negative. And I think when it
Absolutely.
becomes most effective is when it's embedding positive. And so your class sounds like, again, like you just said, probably the only place that someone might be getting these positive reinforcements, hearing it, speaking it, feeling free and accepted and loved. And at the same time, they are fusing that with movement, with exercise, with self-care. And so now I could see that your class could really make a huge, I mean, obviously it's a movement, literally a movement of the not just a movement in the class, but a movement of, again, the self-accepting, sort of what I'm sort of all about as well. Fit to love, loving yourself, taking it, and really, what is that about? It's that you're giving it to yourself. You can't withdraw from an empty bank account, right? So most people think, oh, I have to be giving to others. Well, you won't have anything to give if you don't fill yourself up first. Not to
Absolutely.
mention that when you fill yourself up first, you have something to give. When
Mhm.
you feel good about you, you radiate that to others. People are attracted to that. People are inspired by that. And what a great place to get it, in a class with other women, other people, with music, with positive affirmation, with feeling good. So bravo, Amy.
Thank you. Thanks. It's been, like I said, it's just, and I did. I felt those negative repercussions of trying to quote unquote look a certain way or have rockin' biceps or, shred out my abs. That is a type of pressure that I am so glad and happy. I'm so happy to say that I don't have that pressure anymore. I've been able to, and I think, with women, we're exceptionally hard on ourselves. And so the class is a female based class, I should say. We're working on a male version of it as well, which we're really excited about. Anyone can come in, but it's spelled Powher. So that's kind of a little play on words there. And the other thing about Tap and Power is I was a tap dancer. So there's kind of another little play on words, tap into your power and then tap from the, reference of tap dancing. We have a cardio move called wings, which if you know anything about tap dancing, there's some position or there's some sounds that you make called wings in tap dancing and all kinds of fun stuff that it is definitely a fusion. We do a lot of vinyasas in the a vinyasa flow series throughout each hour. As an instructor, there's a lot of different exercises that you can put inside the format to make it feel like a different class every time you take it or teach it.
Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to feature you on the show was to, again, spread the movement that I'm so passionate about, which is, again, that sort of self-acceptance, self-love, exercising and working out and taking care of your body from a place of adoration and adorning in a positive way, and adding those positive affirmations and about empowerment of women and the self-acceptance that we have for each other and for ourselves, that has to start with ourselves. And so, and I know that because of the way that you've developed this class, you probably could help others and give us some ideas about someone who may not be around. I mean, literally 96 countries. So, I mean, there's going to be places in the world that don't
Yeah.
have access to one of these classes, but there are things that people can do. So before we get to that, though, I do need to take a break
Okay.
to thank our sponsors. Do you want to look and feel years younger? Learn more about your hormone health and how to get properly tested. Sign up for the Healthy Hormone Kit at nourishingwellness.com. It features the essential tests you need to tell your doctor to order for you to learn more about your current levels. Plus, you'll receive lots of healthy eating and lifestyle tips to improve your hormone health naturally. Again, that's www.nourishingwellness.com. What does your self-care routine have to do with dating and relationships? Everything. How you treat yourself is the blueprint for how you show others how to treat you. I call this your body blueprint. Ready to change your body blueprint and manifest better quality relationships and physical results? During the month of February, I am giving away free copies of the second edition of Fit to Love, How to Get Physically, Emotionally, and Spiritually Fit to Attract the Love of Your Life, when you subscribe to this podcast. Visit fittolove.tv/ebook to download your copy today. That's FIT, the number 2, LOVE.tv/ebook. Let's transform your body and your relationships. Okay, Amy, so how can, if I live somewhere where there's not a tap and power or a bar amped class or a cardio bar class, or any class that has these exercise elements to it, what would your suggestions be for whether it's working out by myself or working out with a group? What can I do to add some of the elements that you've put into your class that can give me a more well-rounded experience like you give?
Oh, okay, cool. Well, for the physical aspect, I think it's really important to listen to your body's messages. A lot of the times, if we're doing a DVD at home or in a fitness class, we're trying to get to that level 3 option, or maybe we're in a fitness class and we're comparing ourselves to our neighbor or to the person across the room from us. And my first advice would be, stop comparing yourself. It's your hour. You be present for you and watch the world just melt away. I mean, it's about What are you going there for? What motivates you to get in that room and practice whatever it is that you're practicing? Listen to the messages of your spine, listen to the messages of your, especially the cervical spine. Our back of our neck is a very sensitive, tentative area. Keep those shoulders out of your ears and watch your pelvis. Make sure you don't feel your low back. It's not worth it. If you feel things like your hips and your back and your elbows and your knees, stop, start again, and get into a place where you don't. Because the longer you allow yourself to trash your joints and move at a pace or a posture that's not working for your anatomy, you're going to damage your anatomy essentially, right? So that's the physical. Listen to the messages of your body. It speaks to you all day long. It's speaking to us right now as we sit here, My heart's beating faster because I'm excited to talk to you about this. And this is my first public interview about Tap and Power. So it's my body is talking to me right now. So let's tap into your body and listen to those messages. And then on the emotional side of things, get connected. Bring your soul with you to a workout. If you're in a plank and you're feeling super strong, close your eyes and feel what's actually happening. Feel that lengthening of the back body in a down dog. If you're doing weight work, try to bring the arms a little bit closer and allow yourself to visualize picking energy up from the ground and pulling it up into your heart or up into your soul. And, use those empowering offerings that you can create from your mind to allow you to have a balanced hour. Because, quite frankly, most of us don't get to work out every day of the week, nor should we. And if you're in there 2 to 3 to 4 days a week and you're kind of reading your magazine on the treadmill, are you really present? Are you connected? Yeah, you're moving, but is your soul getting connected? Are you able to really experience something for yourself that is de stressing you or taking you to the next level as a human?
Great. And what about affirmations? Would you recommend that, like you just mentioned, that visualization of pulling power from the ground and sticking yourself? What about
hmm
positive affirmations, whether it be repeating it inside or saying it out loud?
I want to reference, if this is okay, from part of my Lululemon experience. I'm such a huge advocate for that company, not just because they have great clothes that make your booty look good, but they also have a component to their brand called the I Goal You method. It's IGOLU, and it's free, it's online, and it touches on the power of I am. And when I trained in the method, I'm certified level 1 in the method. It did so much for me that I decided to implement the whole I am, of course, they're positive affirmations into Tap and Power. So, if you're in a minute plank, let's say, for just example, and you're sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't, I don't know if I can stay in this. Start to switch your thinking. I can, or I'm strong. I am a force. I am energized. I am beautiful. And just take a post it note. I mean, even at home, take a post it note, write I am on it, and change it up every week with a positive affirmation and stick it on your mirror. I do it almost every week. This week it says I am shining. So, it's something that has really, really played a valuable role in my life, not just when I teach or when I take, but in my, day-to-day happenings in the world. Like I'll tell my clients, when you leave here, when you go out into the real world, take the stuff that you've learned with you and do great things with it.
Excellent. Okay, so now let's talk about if people are around you or around a Tap and Power class somewhere. Talk about the teacher training. Where can people find classes? If they want to open a studio, where can they find you?
Yeah. Okay. So we don't franchise at this point. We're doing licenses because I want to spread the message in a way that we can reach people economically and effectively. www.tapnpowher is where you can find out more about the method. We do teacher trainings here in Franklin, Tennessee. We have one coming up in April at the end of the month. And we also will travel to studios like Mind Studios to do trainings as well for, if we get a collected amount of people together in one location. The teacher training is credited through NEDA, National Exercise Trainers Association, for the max amount of credits that they will give an outside party. It's 20 credits. And we do a 3-day intensive. It's a weekend intensive where we go through observation and practical application, and we also break down a over 100-page workbook. There is an emotional component that is attached to the training, which makes it really special. And, after you graduate from that weekend, you either go on to be an apprentice of the method where you can come back and retest, or you become an instructor and you take it to your communities and you start putting your spin on it and putting your words of empowerment on it. And like I said before, we have over 40 certified instructors at this time, and we've got a good group coming in April. And it's really so much fun because I don't teach from a place of fear. I have always been saddened when I hear people coming back from training saying, oh my gosh, that teacher was so scary, or they told me I wasn't this or I wasn't that. I mean, I grow every day as an instructor and as a teacher trainer, and I could have a room full of completely inexperienced instructors that have really never taught much before, and I will learn from every single one of those people. And that to me is what I think makes Tap Empower really special, because we don't go into it from an I know everything standpoint. We go into it from let's learn about this method and each other together.
Very nice. I would agree that every opportunity is a learning opportunity, even if you're the teacher, and especially when you're the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. Amy, thank you so much for being here. Everyone, you can go to fit2love.tv. All Amy's information, links to her site will be there if you're interested in learning more or becoming a certified instructor and taking it back to community. Amy, thank you again so much.
Thank you so much, JJ. What an honor.
The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly video casts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Freedom Fridays, and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If this show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fit2love.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT2LOVE.TV. Have a fit and fabulous day.